Hello dear student, I welcome you again to Social Studies in Standard 8. Remember, last time we were looking at unit number 11, which is Trade and Hire Purchase, Part 1. Trade and Hire Purchase, Part 1, which is unit 11. Now remember, let me take you back to the topics. I don't want you to leave you behind. Sometimes you can be too playful after school. You play play with your friends and the like, not knowing that you are forgetting the work that is here. This is the work. So the work that is waiting for you as you're in Standard 8 is all this 26 units. 26 units, they are all for you. I'm not scaring you, but I'm preparing your mind so that you should be able to be fit. This is always social and environmental studies. This is the work, 26 units. Just as you can see them, all of them here. As you can see, they are waiting for you. So with this, you don't have much time to play. Yes, you can play with your friends and the like, but you have time to concentrate. Because just as you can see, it's only social and environmental studies. So you can see these two columns here, all of them, they are waiting for you. Now with this, it means you need to concentrate on the work, because agriculture has got its work, science has got its work, but these topics, they are here for you, and they are for you alone. Now let us proceed. Today, as I said, we are looking at unit number 11, Trade and Hire Purchase. Trade and Hire Purchase, and this is part 2. Part 2. So what is that part 2 that we are looking at? This is the factors that affect trade. Factors that affect trade. Remember, last time we introduced trade. What is trade? Types of trade, importance of trade, like that. But now we are proceeding from where we stopped, whereby we now look at the factors. What are the factors that affect trade? So be there up to the end. Now let us look at the factors for trade. The factors for trade. What are the factors for trade? So there are a number of factors for trade. So just as you can see here, number 1, we have resources. Number 2, we have levels of income. Number 3, we have transport network. Number 4, development of tertiary industry. And number 5, we have political climate. Then number 6, we have relationship with other countries. Then finally number 7, we have membership to international bodies. As you can see, all these, they are the factors that affect trade. These are the factors that affect trade. Now, we are looking here that all these, they make trade. They make trade to be possible. When we say factors that affect trade, they are the factors that can make trade to be possible or to fail. So what are these? Let us go through again. Resources, levels of income, transport network, development of tertiary industry, political climate, relationship with other countries, membership to international bodies. So these are the things that today's work we are centering on. Now, without wasting much time, let us start with this first one, that is resources. Resources. Now, the nature of trade will depend on the type of resources available in a particular area. So we are saying here that the nature of trade will depend on the type of resources that are available. What type of resources are available? Then those ones, they will make people to trade in those resources. For example, people who are staying along the lake, what do you think can be the resource available? It's fish. Therefore, their trade item will be fish, because they are near the lake. Usually they go to the lake day in, day out. Therefore, their trade item will be fish. Resources. So the nature of trade will depend on the type of resources that are available. For example, an area that specializes in the production of a particular commodity will trade with another area that does not have that product. I was mentioning of fish for the people along the lake. When they catch a lot of usipa, a lot of bonya, they cannot eat all that one, but they will dry that one and get that one to places far away from the lake, knowing that those people who are far away from the lake, they don't have fish. Therefore, those ones, they will need relish, they will need fish, they will sell them. So that's what we talk of resources. They determine the type of trade. Let us look at the levels of income as another factor that affect trade. Levels of income. Here we are talking of trade exists when people have the buying power. So trade exists when people have the buying power. So when people have the capability of buying, that's when trade will be there. If you get your commodity, your bananas to the market, and the people, they don't have the buying power. In this case, what is the buying power? I guess you say money. Yes. If people don't have money, they will not buy anything. Even if the resources are there, the commodities are there. So people may have the demand for a product, but may not access the product if they do not have money. You don't have money, you need the product, but you cannot buy it because you don't have the buying power, which is money. For instance, Malawi may need certain resources such as petroleum, but it cannot access the product if it has low levels of income. So we see there that Malawi cannot buy petrol if it doesn't have money, if it doesn't have the capacity to buy that petroleum. So we see levels of income determine the trade as well. Transport network is also another determining factor. Transport network. Trade will be efficient if a country has good transport network. Yeah, so trade, what we are saying is trade will be efficient in a country that has good road network. Like in our country, Malawi, you see that in many areas, rural areas, they are not connected to the road networks. As a result, those rural areas, they are the best producers of certain commodities that are needed elsewhere. But due to roads, you find that there is no trade that is taking place to connect those areas. Talk of areas like sometimes in Chitipa, you connect between Chitipa and Rumpi via Nyika. Find that the road is almost impassable at a time when the products are ready in Chitipa, in Tarire, they are ready to go to the market, maybe in Mzuzu. They cannot do that because of the road network. I've just given one example of Chitipa, but if you look around in Mwanza, you talk of the same things, not well connected. In Chikwawa, the same. In most of the areas, you find that in the rural areas where many things are produced, they are not connected to good road network. This will help to facilitate the movement of goods to places where they are required. So what's the importance of road network in trade? They facilitate the transport or the movement of goods from one place to the other, from one point to from the producer to the consumer, something like that. Yeah, so that's the importance of the road network. Development of tertiary industry as well. So this one is another factor. Development of tertiary industry is another factor that affects trade. Now, how does it affect? For example, banking, insurance, and advertising services help to promote trade by providing credit services to manufacturing industries and other business enterprises. So here we are talking of this part, development of tertiary industry, development of tertiary industry as another factor that affects trade. So how are we explaining it? Let me come again on this. Banking, insurance, and advertising services help to promote trade by providing credit services to manufacturing industries and other business enterprises. The banks, they are the tertiary industries. The banks, they provide loan to companies or to business owners so that those businesses, they are able to get the materials and process them or buy and sell to other people. The banks, they are not the ones that can come to the farmers and buy tobacco. No, the banks doesn't do that. And buy maize and buy beans. No. But ADMAC will do that. So if ADMAC doesn't have the money, it will go to the bank to borrow the money. Then after getting the money, ADMAC will come to us and buy maize, beans, and whatever we have. Then process or sell it to other companies, then pay the credit to the bank, have a profit, later on buy again, like that. So the banks, in this case, they are the ones that are called the tertiary industries. The tertiary industries. So the tertiary industries, they are also important in trade because they give loan to companies. They give loan or credit to business people so that they should do trade. So you can see the importance of tertiary industries there. Another one is political climate. Political climate is also another important factor that influences trade. How does it do that? Trade will flourish in a country where the political climate is stable. When in a country there is always demonstrations, mademo, 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 mademo. In that country you find that shops, they will remain closed, no business taking place, the towns, the cities, they will remain quiet, no trade. Therefore, if the political climate is not stable, there is no trade. If there is stability, you find that people are busy in town, trading, going up and down, carrying goods, this direction, this direction. Why? Because politically, the country is calm. So political climate is very, very important in trade. It's very important. And for example, trade within a country which is war-torn as well as with other countries becomes difficult. Here we are saying that trade within a country which is at war as well as a country which is also at war with other countries. Therefore, trade becomes difficult. Trade with other countries becomes very difficult because your country is at war. Maybe civil war. These people are fighting against this. No trade will occur there. So political climate is very, very important. Another factor that influences trade is a relationship with other countries. Relationship with other countries. How does it do that? Trade exists in a country where there is good bilateral relationship. Remember, bilateral trade, bilateral relationship. Malawi, Zambia, they are good friends. Malawi, Tanzania, they are good friends. Then their trade will be okay. But if Malawi and Tanzania, there is a conflict there, even trade at all levels will not take place, will not flourish well. Because even the people, they will hate each other. You Tanzanians, you Malawians, like that. But the Tanzanians, they need other things from Malawi. Malawians, they need other things from Tanzania. Then they will suffer simply because there is no good relationship between two countries. So the relationship with other countries is very important if trade is to take place. And the last one is membership to international bodies. Membership to international bodies. So trade may be influenced by membership to international bodies such as SADC and COMESA, where one of the objectives is to create improved trade between and among states. So trade may be influenced by membership to international bodies. So there are those international bodies that a country needs to be a member. So we are taking, for example, here SADC and COMESA, like for Southern Africa, here there is that one, or African Union, that one, United Nations, all those. So a country needs to be a member there to enjoy the benefits of trade with other member countries. So we see there that it is important again to have membership into the international bodies. Why? Because it influences trade. It influences trade. So Malawi is a member of both these regional bodies we have mentioned. We have mentioned of SADC and the COMESA. So Malawi is a member, therefore it is able to trade with all COMESA countries and all SADC countries. So these are the issues or the factors that affect trade. So to this far, we have looked at these factors that affect trade, about 7 of them. What are they? Can you remember them? If not, pause and restart. It's just a short video lesson here that you can redo at any time. So we have looked at the factors that make trade possible, that influence trade. What are they? Can you explain them? Now, to see if you have been following, here is a part 2 exercise. Unit 11, part 2 exercise. So there are only 2 questions that I've prepared for you. So the first one is mention any 4 factors that influence trade. This one I've given it 4 marks. Explain how each factor mentioned above influence trade. How these factors that you have mentioned here influence trade. So you have to explain them fairly. So pause, write these 2 questions and try to answer them clearly on your own handwriting. So we are proceeding next time with the social studies in Unit 11. Remember, Unit 11, we are looking at trade and hire purchase. Trade and hire purchase. But next time, we are going to look at part 3. So be there when we'll be looking at part 3. So what is part 3 all about? It's all about the hire purchase. Remember, this topic is about trade and hire purchase. So next time, we'll be looking at trade. We'll be looking at the hire purchase. So be there next time and stay focused and be attentive. And until next time, thank you so much.